Hello and welcome back to Absolute BSS, a casualpetitive podcast about Bandai Namco's Battle Spirit Saga card game. I'm back, and so are my boys. Back from Europe, back from the Pro Tour, back from the Netherlands. I'm joined, as always, by Angel. How you doing?
I'm doing good, trying to catch up back in our regular time zone.
Yeah, and Eric. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, everybody.
No bad luck this time.
That's right.
What's up?
And I'm just so proud of my boys for heading out and crossing the pond and playing some Battle Spirits with a bunch of really crazy good players. A lot of exciting stuff coming out of this Pro Tour. So we're going to be doing like a little bit of another Q&A on this episode about the event, about some other stuff here and there. And we're going to let Angel and Eric go over how the trip went and how the tournament was. And yeah, looking forward to a new meta because, man, some crazy stuff is being established right there at the end of set 2. But yeah,
for sure. I'm excited for the new meta, but I would say that I think me and Eric were talking about it. Like, I wish we had like maybe one more month of what the Pro Tour was, like just how creative some of the decks were. Because it was definitely, it felt like a whole new meta within the meta, right? But either way, apart from that, set 2's gone, set 1's gone in the sense of like what the meta is. So I'm excited for set 3. I know a lot of people are hyped about it. I see a lot of people posting and practicing. I think it's like the biggest set where I've seen the most hype. Just about different, not just the Gale thing, but just blue and other colors. And I've seen a lot of people get creative. People already giving good reviews saying that all the cards are really fun from this set that's coming or that's out now. So I'm excited to get involved with set 3 hopefully. So
yeah, we opened
set 3
some
testing is going to be so fun.
Yeah, for sure. Like, we've got Atlanta coming up, Grand Open. And yeah, we just got set 3 product over this past weekend. You guys got to come home to it. That's really fun. But you also played some...
we got some of it there.
Yeah, you got some of it over there.
For free.
Oh, that's
for free.
That's very cool.
I didn't pull nothing good, though. I didn't pull nothing good.
Yeah, me neither. But it was free.
I had my wife open every single one of my packs. 48 packs, 2 booster boxes. And I got Gale support. I can build a Gale deck. And
she had some hot hands when she was opening those packs.
I know.
Saw your pulls.
I love it. I was like, babe, you always open really good stuff for me, so I'm not even touching a single pack. And she loves opening them and kind of like seeing
a bad
it.
Husband. I would never let my wife open my packs. I'd be afraid she's bend the cards. Like, you're gonna bend the cards, you're gonna flip it over. Like, don't open the packs. Give them to me. Wear gloves. I don't want the hollow to get scratched up. Like,
well, she gets it because she plays Keyforge with me. And so she's like, all right, I understand, like, pull rates and all this stuff and why it's fun. And so she has a blast opening. And I was just like, she opened a shiny Hurricane Highlands, and then right behind it was Schottenjäger. And I was like, I love you. Anything you want.
That's about as close to a god pack as you can get in Battle Spirit Saga.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
As you said Keyforge, I just want to give you a very high applause, Cam, because everywhere in the Netherlands I saw a lot of Keyforge stuff.
That's so great. Yeah, we the World Championship is coming up in, like less than 2 weeks. I'm going to be up in Roseville, Minnesota for the World Championship. There's a last chance qualifier, and there have been vault tours from around the world, and a lot of international players are going to be coming over here to participate in that. And I'm very, very excited. Also, Set 7 just wrapped up its crowdfunding campaign, made $500,000. So, good. Set 7's on the way. Keyforge is alive and well. I saw Sad Mango jumped on the Keyforge train in our Discord, too.
Yeah,
So, now I got Type and Sad Mango in the Discord playing some Keyforge.
You're going to pull me back in next.
I hope so, man.
I have the cards. I just need to play.
Yeah. Anytime.
Hey, I'd be down to play. Like I said, since I didn't pick up my second game that I wanted, which was going to be Shadowverse. I'll play some Keyforge, man. Because honestly, the more I saw the cards up there, and then people's maps, and just keeping up with that new crowdfunding, and just it's just fun, right? And I think me and Eric, I think both did talk to quite a few people that actually play Keyforge, and just they knew a lot about it, and just remembering the houses, and when you and I played at Gen Con. So I might be down.
It's an exciting time for the game, so I suggest anybody does. That might be interested. Get into it, especially if you're in the Discord. Because if you post your deck lists, I'm going to just absolutely give you a rundown of it. So
I know doing that, and I was like, I have some decks that I'm kind of unsure about, and I should probably just post them in there and let Cam give me a full review.
It's like a tarot reading, right? You show me the card and I'll tell you what it means. But we're here to talk about absolute BSS today in Battle Spirit Saga. So we've got some questions from our Discord, specifically about the Pro Tour. So if you guys want to kick us off and let's dive into it. I don't have a lot to say because I wasn't there.
Yeah. Should we just go down the list of the questions and just kind of use that as a jumping point?
Yeah,
that's fun.
Cool. You want me to read it?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. First one, we have Overlord Ubel in our Discord asking us, how were the local players and did any of them refer you to anything local for good food? I think this is an awesome question because it allows Angel and I to talk about our favorite part of traveling, which is the food. So we took lots of pictures. By the way, once again, because this is kind of a travel video or travel podcast / video, I do plan on adding in a bunch of our pictures and videos we took along the way into the video version of the podcast. Hopefully I don't have as much trouble as I did last time, but we'll see how it goes. So if you're watching the video version or if you're listening right now, go over to the video version if you want to see some cool pics of food and stuff we saw along the way. But well, do you want to start off with an answer to that one first, Angel?
Sure. So for me, it's a little bit of cheating, right? Because I actually ended up going to the Netherlands. Me and my wife did on Monday, so we were there quite a few days earlier than when the Pro Tour started. So we had explored the city multiple times and kind of try to find the hotspots of food around. So as far as like any players that I played with, I don't think anybody recommended me any places. I think anywhere we went, or at least somebody they might have brought up or talked about, we kind of already had been there. There's one in particular that I'll let Eric talk about because I think it was both our favorites that we found. I think on our last day there or the day before, I think it was. But as far as the local players go, thank God. I mean, that's what I was hoping would happen. All of my 7 rounds, I played players that were not from the U.S. or that I've never seen. So they were either from Germany, Netherlands. Australia. I mean, I played everybody else, so I'm excited because that's what I want to be there. I know some people got stuck playing with some of the same players that we play in the States, which that's no fun, right? Sometimes. So you want to play something new, meet new people. But as far as anybody that played, oh yeah, go ahead.
Wait. Round 1, Cosmic played against Aspira.
Oh yeah, yep.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh man, that always happens, right?
Complaining about it. Yeah, they always play against each other. But I didn't have that. Round 1, I played against somebody that was from Germany. So amazing guy. And actually, I lied. I played somebody that was from New York in one of my rounds. But all in all, though, everybody else is from Europe somewhere or in that region. And they were all super friendly. I mean, honestly. I think that's just a theme all across the board, at least for the Battle Split players that I've met up to date. They're all super welcoming, friendly. We had a normal conversation like we've known each other this whole time. I was kind of a little bit worried about the accents. I was like, oh my God, am I going to understand the accents? But they speak pretty good. I mean, there was one guy actually that I don't think he spoke a lot of good English, but he just did a lot of hand gestures. Luckily, Battle Spirits is a very streamlined game that I can kind of do what the hand gestures meant. But the players were phenomenal. So if you guys are listening, shout out to anybody that I played or anybody that I talked to, even if I didn't play you. Because apart from people that didn't play, just walking around, handing out tokens, or just handing there, I mean, they were super welcoming, super friendly. It's an awesome community, and I'm glad that I was able to experience that. Especially for those that even recognized us. So that was pretty shocking. I mean, I want to say day 1, we didn't even walk I won't say not even 10 steps. We were like, oh my God, you guys are the guys, or whatever. So I think that was Costa, out there, shadow, we did some little forged signatures out there, but it was a good experience, man. All the players were cool. Everybody was awesome, fantastic. The judges were fantastic. Anybody that was from that play city, I mean, it was amazing. So, and even the local city, people were super friendly. Anywhere we ate, the servers were friendly. So I had a good time.
That's so great. I love to hear that.
Yeah, Costa came right up to us when we entered the room there and was like, oh my gosh, it's Eric and Angel. And then he had a sign, Angel signed a Maduke, and I signed a Worker Ant-Man.
Wow.
So very fitting.
That's awesome.
I gave him a doctor signature, so that card's gonna be worth money someday.
Yeah, you could lie and
You
say
can get
that's
a prescription
anybody.
with that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I played against a lot of players from all over as well. I played against that same guy from New York, and I had the most incredible game of Battle Spirits I think I've ever played. I think you were watching that game, Angel, right?
Yeah, it was intense. Me and Costa were watching.
So,
we had our arms folded. We were just watching like, oh my god. Like,
it was so tense, but also so fun because he was just such a chill, cool dude, and
I love that.
We were just like, we were both like really trying our absolute hardest, but we were both at a stage where we were just top decking. He had 2 Gigano Rexes out, and then a Volcanic Canyon. So every turn when he was top decking, he got to see a little bit more than I did. But
wow.
I had like a couple little dudes and a Scop Owl out, and both of us were down to 1 core for life.
Oh my gosh.
And so his dilemma was, if he attacks with a Gigano Rex, I block with Scop Owl, both of his dudes are tapped, next turn I kill him.
Right.
If he doesn't attack, he risks me drawing like a Thorn Prison and finishing the game. So, or if I attack with Scop Owl, he has to figure out a way to like get around it or do something. And it was like every single turn when he top decked, he found like the exact right card that would like sustain his current state. Like not get him out of it, but just at least keep him alive. Like I think he like bounced the Scop Owl at one point, but of course it has Swift, so like I can just flash it back in.
Right.
So it was just like, man, it was such a tense game, and it went like that for like maybe 4 or 5 turns of just like,
man.
We were at this stalemate with the Scop Owl and the Gigano Rexes, and then finally I managed to just get through the defense and finish him off, and we shook hands, and we were both like, that game was worth the flight out here.
Oh, that's so cool, man. I love that.
He's an awesome player. I mean, he was like my first round. And he just, for being the first round, he made the game in the day like super entertaining, right? Because he was making like these funny noises when he summoned his spirits. And by the way, he already has his world's qualification. Like he participated in the Pro Tour New Jersey, so he was just there for fun and obviously get the money. So, but he like his deck was really good, and you know, even with me, like I want to say it was game 1 or maybe game 2. I struggled a lot because he was pulling a lot of shenanigans I didn't expect to see in that deck, and I think that's what I love about his Pro Tour, and we'll get into that a little bit later on in the show. But a lot of the decks had their own creative takes to it, and it was just, every time I was like, oh yeah, I didn't expect that, or oh wow, you are playing that, because nobody knew, right? Like, it's a new meta. You can't just net deck them because it was a brand new thing since Axe Spider, Depths, and all these other cards got banned, and he had a lot of cool cards that you wouldn't expect to see and what you would think the deck he was playing. I mean, he was playing red, right? I thought he was playing, you know, Pterosaurs, and he really wasn't, and I thought he had Nova. It was a weird build, but it worked, and the guy was just a great guy, super entertaining, super friendly, and super chill. So I'm glad you got to play him too, Eric, because, yeah, man, that was a good way to start the day. He had me laughing the whole match. Like, I saw him in, like, I think he summoned, like, something. I think it was one of his bearded eagle. Like he made like a bird noise, and then I summoned my Scop Owl. He's like, "Oh, it's like your owl's gonna go against my eagle." He's like, "Caw." I was like, sure. And it was so early in the morning, right? So it's like the first round. So I'm still trying to be awake. I'm nervous, and I think he helped kind of like set the tone,
break the ice,
kind of get those nerves down. Because you know you're in the Pro Tour, you're nervous, you're thinking about everything that could go wrong. So he was a great guy. So I definitely, hopefully, to see him at the next event. So it was chill, guys. So.
That's so cool. I love that. Like Andrew and I talked about this in the Discord. We played in a webcam tournament at the same time that y'all were in the Netherlands. But we were just talking a little bit before or like after one of our games. Just the people in this community and in this game are like 9.9 out of 10 times just like really great people. And we're all just there playing the same game and having fun. So that's really cool that translate overseas and like at high level events like that. It's really fun, especially round 1, like you said, to just kind of break that ice, get loosened up, and just like you're there to have fun at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. That's really encouraging to hear.
I think also the responsibility is on us when we're playing to bring that to the table. Because I will say, like, I was playing, I think all day everyone was super nice, super friendly. I had like one interaction with somebody where they were a little, I don't know, like they weren't being super friendly. They were definitely there to be like super serious. And I think because of the way that I was participating in the tournament, the way that I was acting, I did get them to like loosen up a little bit.
And I bet that helped them.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, they beat me, but
well, that definitely helped them. Yeah,
but like, I'm gonna beat the happiness out of you.
Yeah. But by the end of it, it was like, you know, I was giving them, like, they beat me, and I was talking to them about stuff I liked about their deck, and then I gave them like our tokens and stuff. So I just feel like, you know, hopefully he took that with him to the next round and was like, coming off of the win that he got from me, but also like, you know, maybe I'll be a little more cheery and a little more have a little fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do we want to keep talking about? Do we want to just dive into like all of our games and stuff, or do we want to like talk about food? What do you guys think?
We can talk about the food since it kind of goes way over his question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as far as like recommendations from locals, I don't think we really got any. But Angel, didn't you say that like when you were in, there was a bar that we went to a lot. I think it was called Cafe de Postillon or something.
Cafe de Postillon, something like that.
Yeah. We went there a few times, but you had already gone there before we had even met up. And didn't you say that somebody there just recommended that you don't go to Amsterdam?
Yeah, it's one of the locals there. My wife went to go pay the tab because one thing in Netherlands is that it's not like the States. Like, me and my wife sat in a restaurant for almost an hour after we were done eating, thinking that they would bring us a check, and I guess they don't do that there. You have to ask for the check or just go up and pay. So it's the weirdest thing, and all week it was throwing us off.
That's why I went for the breakfast package at our hotel, because that was my experience when I was in Poland for a little bit, and I think it's just a European thing that like
it might be.
Lunch or dinner or whatever just takes forever. So I was just like, I'm going to get the breakfast package so that day of the Pro Tour, I'm not late. I can just like, you know, slide some eggs down my throat and get going.
Check it down. But she was saying, but she was saying, I mean, it was weird, but I mean, everybody has their things. But yeah, she went to go pay the tab, and there's a guy there, you know, I guess he was like, what's a pretty lady doing out here or whatever, and she was like, oh, I'm just visiting. And then he's like, oh, where you going? He's like, we're gonna go to Amsterdam tomorrow. He's like, oh, don't go there. He's like, you're not missing anything. This is the real tourist spot. It's Amsterdam's whatever. And then she came back, and I was giving her shit, like, because she was like, oh yeah, you know, she told me what he told her. He's like, he called you pretty? I was like, you're in Europe. I was like, you're the least prettiest thing in this damn country. She was like, you're something ass. I was like, I'm surprised
so
I'm still
mean.
Married. I know, I'm surprised I'm still married.
I'm surprised too. Damn.
Eric got to experience how I am with my wife, so it's
that's
so
that's
funny.
true. You guys are always ribbing each other.
Yeah,
so
that's what keeps us going.
Hey,
but all in all, though, yeah, he recommended us not to go there, and you know, we went. Eric, my wife, and I went, and I think we all came to the same conclusion that it's cool. You know, definitely go. At least if you've never been, go, because you have to go, right? But just don't get your hopes up. It's not what I imagine it to be.
Interesting.
Especially compared to Utrecht, and I don't want to spoil too much because you guys go, but it's just it was cool. You know, you have your Amsterdam stuff that you hear about, right? The RD and the you know, the W and all that other stuff that they do in Amsterdam, and that's cool and all right. But it was just like I was like it wasn't like I was like, oh my god,
Amsterdam.
wow, yeah. So that was okay. Utrecht is definitely to me miles apart from Amsterdam, and I think we all came to that conclusion.
I was gonna say, I think a lot of people who go to Amsterdam probably miss out on the surrounding cities. I would love to check out some of the other cities, because I thought that Utrecht had, other than like, you know, the red lights district and like all the other stuff, like Utrecht had it all. It had the canals. It had, you know, all of the cool shops and little stores and like bakeries
restaurants.
And it was just like a lot cleaner in Utrecht. There was a lot less, like, I know that was the first thing I noticed in Amsterdam. There was a lot of trash everywhere. And I think it's because of the tourists. I think it's the tourists' fault, because there's also like tourists everywhere in Amsterdam as well. But we did go to the red light district during the day. So
and even that was interesting. You know, it's
It was interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
we witnessed a customer enter one of the buildings.
A lucky gentleman
It was
was
it
getting
was
his
like
day started.
All right.
I had said to your wife, I was like, do you think that like people really just like walk up and go in, or do you think that like this is really mostly for tourists, like as a show? And then like right as I said that, this dude like with this huge smile on his face like goes in, and I was like, oh okay,
He's been there before.
it's happening.
I'm here for my 8 o'clock. Like, let's
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all it was early in the day.
Yeah,
Hey man, you gotta
Damn.
beat the traffic. Get a.
Yeah.
Man.
He's like,
It's
I'm
like,
gonna be first in here.
They have like one of those signs like outside of the Krispy Kreme, like when it's lit up, you know everything's fresh. Sorry, that's
Oh god.
Oh god! And you had to use the Krispy Kreme analogy. Horrible, horrible. I won't eat a donut.
It was cool to see everything though. It like the canals are super cool, the cobblestone streets, like all the I did come to the understanding that there is a huge difference between a cafe and a coffee shop. which
oh
is
interesting.
Because a coffee shop is, and maybe I'm wrong about, maybe it's the other way around, I can't remember, but one of them, I think it's coffee shop is actually where you'd go to get coffee. Is that right?
I think so.
Or-
No, it's the other one.
The other way around, yeah.
Yeah.
One of them is actually coffee. The other one is weed. So, but
Yeah.
it's interesting. It was very fun to walk around in Amsterdam. But yeah, I just felt like Utrecht was a bit more enjoyable, just because there was like, I felt like there were real like locals there, and we got to kind of see how people really lived, and
Yeah.
you know, we got to see just walking around there. Like that one night we were walking around and it was raining, but it was like kind of enjoyable anyways, because it was like we were in this like European city. There's like the canal, the
Yeah,
lights are
the
all
lights.
nice, and there's like
That's cool.
nice
as hell.
little rain dripping down, and it's like,
People
wow, this feels
biking
kind of like
everywhere. Stay out the
oh,
bike
the
lane.
bikes. The
Jeez,
bikes.
bikes everywhere.
Yeah, you will
Ugh.
get run over by bikes if you're not careful. You got to be
Yeah.
careful.
That's
The
fair.
one thing I'll tell people about Amsterdam, I guess, what really, I guess, at least for me, I say disappointment. It was still enjoyable. It's just when I travel, I like to immerse myself in that culture, right, or dive into their food or their lifestyle, because that's the whole point of traveling, right? If I want to go eat McDonald's, I just stay my ass here.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And Amsterdam to me reminded me a lot of what LA is, where it's just a huge hub for a lot of different cultures, right? There was like little Chinatown, I guess you could say. There was like their Latin area with Argentinian food. So it was like a lot of the stuff that you find here. And I really didn't see anything that was like unique. I was like, hey, this is like whatever European food, or here's I don't know, Utrecht, whatever, some kind of seafood. It was all like, here's the Latin area, here's the Chinese stuff, here's the American style, here's the steakhouse, here's Korean barbecue. So I guess for me that was
Yeah.
kind of like disappointment. It was like I could just do this at home, right, and go
Yeah.
find these type of restaurants. You know, might not be the same name or same style, but it's the same thing, right? I was looking forward to like something weird, you know, like I don't know, whatever I considered weird from that area. But oh no, I mean it was still pretty. I still recommend people to go. It's just it kind of broke my heart a little bit. I'm not, because I was like hyped up. Oh my god, Amsterdam! I've been hearing this about my whole
Yeah.
life and seen movies and all that, and I go there and I'm like, oh yeah, Amsterdam, cool. All right, let's go back to Utrecht. Like, cool. So,
Yeah,
That's
I did
interesting.
really enjoy Utrecht though.
Yeah.
Utrecht was a lot of fun. I like, honestly, if you're listening to this in the future, which all of you are, because you can't be listening to it right now. Anyways, just never mind. If you're listening to this and you're thinking like, I want to go to the Netherlands, take a train. Even if you're staying in Amsterdam, take a train to Utrecht. You can get there in like 20 or 30 minutes if you
20
take
minutes,
the intercity train.
Sick.
And it's like there's so many game shops. There's like board game stores everywhere. We stopped in a few of those. There's like all of the same stuff really that's in Amsterdam, but like just a lot less busy and a lot less trash and more locals. At least that was my interpretation.
Yeah, I would say a lot friendlier too, though. Like Utrecht, even the shops, like everybody talked to you. Even the people that were walking were nice. Amsterdam was a little bit, and I don't know if a lot of them were just tourists. Maybe that's why. But Utrecht for sure. We found this out actually that Utrecht is actually like the main capital or whatever he has said about like gaming. Like they're huge.
He
on
said
gaming.
it was. He said it was the board game capital of the world. I don't know if that can actually be
Wow.
confirmed, but
Yeah.
I thought that was like more like Germany. But I believe it though. I mean, there were board game stores everywhere, and pretty much everywhere you went, they had board games. Like all the restaurants and
That's
shops.
so cool.
So like I ended up leaving a couple copies of my board game.
I was
going to
ask if you took it with you. Okay, I'm so glad
I did.
you did.
I brought 2 copies and I left them. So my game Taproot is now international. If you go to the Café de Postillon or if you go to the Spellenspiel board game shop,
Sure.
I think that's what it was called. You can find it there. So well, not for sale, just to play. But
Right.
it was cool though. Just like how much people were into games. There was this one shop we went to called The Joker, which had this like they had like local games there. I ended up buying a game by a local publisher. I only brought my backpack, so I was trying not to buy too much stuff. Also, then it's a pain in the ass when you go through customs when you get back home because they ask you a million questions about all the stuff you bought and brought with you. So I bought this little card game because it was made by a local publisher there in Utrecht, and they had a whole bunch of different games. I think you bought one too, Angel, didn't you?
Yeah, we bought one called Kitten Butt or something like that. Something about cars and kittens' butts. I don't know. My wife
that's
got
fun.
it. So I'll let you guys know when we play it. Like, I don't know.
No, you bought like a different game. I thought it was about hamsters or something.
Yeah, it was the hamster and the badgers. You have to protect your hamsters. It was by somebody local there that made a lot of games, so it looked fun. It was very interesting. You know, I want to support anybody that can in any game store, and the guy was really nice. So, it was cool, like for sure. Like
they had this really interesting like gaming dungeon down below.
Yeah,
where
lots
like
of games.
you walk down there and it's like right down by the canal and they have all these like seats and stuff down there. It really feels like a dungeon. Like it's a little scary, but like kind of cool.
That's so fun.
No, that's good. Like if you go to Utrecht, though, honestly, guys, best restaurant, Chills. It's called Chills. We went and probably the best food we've had all week. The service was amazing. The server there was top notch. I mean, we had like 3 servers at one time. It was like they just kind of worked together, and they were all fantastic and nice. The drinks were really good. Their beer was really good.
The beer was ice cold.
Yeah, ice cold, and it hits you. I forgot what it's called, but literally like 2 beers, it's like drinking probably like a 12-pack. It's like you don't feel it till like later on, and then you start feeling good.
That's
all the beer I had there was high ABV.
Let's go.
Yeah.
It's called Chills. Probably the best restaurant I've been to. The Korean barbecue place we went to was really good too. It was actually rated one of the highest Korean barbecue, and it was good, right? It just, to me, I'm not traveling across the world to eat Korean barbecue.
Right. Unless you're going to Korea. Yeah.
Right. And it's probably a whole different meaning, but it was good though.
I totally agree. The Korean barbecue place was great, but it was kind of like, you can get Korean barbecue elsewhere.
Yeah.
But what about the Dutch ice cream that we had?
Oh, Dutch ice cream was fantastic.
Ooh.
So Dutch ice cream and and I'm probably gonna say this wrong. My wife will kill me. She's listening. The Stroopwafel, whatever, some kind of waffle. Stroopwafel. That is one of the. I mean, it was super sweet and messy, but it was worth the trip to Amsterdam. I think we went to Amsterdam for that, and that was better than going to Amsterdam for the red light district or weed. We went for that. We went for the American fast snacks. One thing that was crazy too about Utrecht that we noticed, that because my wife felt like really American and fat, was that they only serve you food, or you should order what you're about to eat. They don't only believe in like carry out or taking food. So a hotel, they didn't have a microwave, or they didn't have a fridge. So there was one day we went to the little Italian restaurant. We had pasta or pizza. So we had leftover pasta. So we took it to go, and they looked at it like, "You want a container?" Like, yeah. So she took it to go, but we also stopped at Cinnabon and bought 2 cinnamon rolls. So we're walking through this mall, which this mall has probably 100,000 people every freaking hour. It's ridiculous. It's like New York City in the mall.
Wow.
Just looking at us, like just 2 fat Americans carrying a cinnamon bag and like leftovers, like looking like, what is? Because I didn't see anybody there that would say it's like overweight. Like everybody there is like slim, tall as hell. Another recommendation:
funny.
you got to be at least 6'3" if you want to use the urinals, or else you're gonna piss
Oh my
yourself.
god!
No joke. Like when I got out of the airport and I went there, I told my wife, like, why is the urinal up to almost to my chest? I had to be like on my tippy toes. Like I was like, I am not that short.
That's hilarious.
Anytime I found a child's urinal, I became so happy because I could finally pee in it.
That's fucking wild.
I ended up having to use the stalls a lot of the time because I was just like, this is so uncomfortable to pee in this urinal. Unless I was using it wrong, I don't know. Are you supposed to like stand back and like
Arch it
catapult
up?
it in? You know? Yeah, like trajectory.
Yes. Well, some of the urinals had a little like golf thing. Like I was like, oh, is this like a hole-in-one or something?
Oh, that's
like that?
fun. I love those.
It was weird. Like, and you had to pay too for like the public bathrooms. It is €1 to go use a public bathroom, either at the mall or like if you're just walking. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, the mall was interesting too. Our hotel was inside of a shopping mall, and I have never seen a shopping mall, or I have not seen a shopping mall that busy since I feel like I was like a little kid. I feel like shopping malls in the States are like all dead. Like nobody's really in there when you go. But like in this shopping mall, it was like no matter what time of day it was, no matter what day of the week it was just packed, full of people.
That's funny.
It was nuts. The one last thing about the Stroopwafel place I want to mention though, it was so cool in there. Like that shop is like if you're gonna go to Amsterdam, I'll put I'm probably watching a little video of it right now. Definitely go there because it was like it was very whimsical. It kind of reminded me of like Harry Potter or something. It felt like a Harry Potter like sweets shop. It was like they had like these little music boxes playing and like they had all the Stroopwafels.
Yeah. Oh, that's
like
very
Diagon
cool.
Alley. Diagon Alley. Like
absolutely.
That's cool.
That's fun.
There are lots of cool little alleyways with shops and stuff, but yeah.
That's
cool
so
place.
Sick.
Definitely a fun place to vacation, especially if you love games. Go to Utrecht, check out all the game stores, eat at Chills.
Drink lots of beer.
Drink lots of beer. Lots of great beer.
Hell yeah.
Fun trip.
I want to go. For the beer and the games. Yeah, I know.
Maybe you'll be at the Oregon one then.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, if we qualify in Atlanta, it's the next weekend. Have to get out to Portland. But I'm already prepared. Like I'm like, if this happens, I'm going. And my wife's like, all right, I'll watch the dogs. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. Well, because we need to go to Worlds.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know. Should we? Well,
Angel's going to Worlds.
Yeah.
I played an air horn. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, congrats to Angel.
Thank you.
Which that's a solid segue to if you guys want to talk about like how you did in the tournament and then what kind of decks that we saw, because that kind of lines up with one of the questions. Yeah,
I think one of Andrew's question.
I'll read Andrew's questions, both of them really quick. Was there anything that surprised you guys about the deck? Oh, maybe just the first question. I'll read that one. Was there anything that surprised you guys about the decks other people were playing? For example, were you surprised people brought a certain color, or were you surprised that people were playing a certain card in their deck that you didn't plan for? So yeah, what kinds of decks did we see, and was there anything surprising?
So I would say like there was only two decks, maybe three decks that I played against, or at least saw, that I would say surprised me. Everything else that I played against, it was some variation of like another deck, just with their own take on it. So
sure,
I would say every deck surprised me, right? Because everybody's playing their style of what they think they should add to their deck. You know, some people running meaning Feral Slashes, some people were meaning, maybe Dream, stuff like that, right? So I would say every deck was a surprise because nobody, like I said, nobody knows what people are playing because it's a whole new blind meta, what I call it. But the only decks I would say would surprise me, I'm calling them rainbow decks, right? Because they're playing a lot of the lore sets like Kai and all those cards that I did not expect to see this early on, right? Set 3, I expected them to be played. But actually FaZe, I think Cosmic was playing one of them, but I know I played against a guy that was playing the new Takawa, the new Nexus of the lore set, the Elephant off White, Belgor. I mean, he was playing
the red one?
No, this was the
Imperator's Great War, really?
Yeah, that's what he was playing. Imperator's Great War. Like,
interesting.
It was the guy that played in round 6. It was round 6. And he literally had an answer for everything I would try to do. It doesn't matter what my deck was trying to do. He had a Dream Bomb, or he had Star Blast, or he had Burning Force, or he had Feral Slash. He just will go wide.
That's the power of Rainbow, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I mean, and then he played Smog, right? So he had cost reduction no matter what for all that. He was able to draw off it and get a core ramp off it. So that's the deck
Wow.
that I was like, I literally anytime I was playing, I'm like, I was just sitting there and I was just like, and I think it was like game one. I ended up actually scooping because I was just like, dude, it doesn't matter what I do. I even told myself, dude, I don't have a way out of this. So I just scooped and went to game two. And same thing, game two, like I thought I was doing good. My deck is doing what it's supposed to do. I'm thinking I got a lead, and he starts doing all these connections, and I got this elephant. There was one game, I think it was game two, 3 elephants on me back to back. So just like. And it was like
Unreal.
not like yeah, like I think it was one point. It was funny. I think we joked about it. He was complaining about his cores. Oh, I don't have enough cores. But he had like 25 cores to like my 10 cores. And I looked at him. I was like, he's out. I know this feels bad for you. I'm like, you don't have enough cores, motherfucker. Like it's like what? Like what are you talking about? You know. But that's probably the good deck. I mean, and I'm sure it's like a variation of what other people were playing. But there's a lot of interesting tech. I noticed a lot of purple there. Luckily, I only had
Yeah.
one mirror match the whole day, which I don't know how
Wow.
that happened. But thank God, because I did not want to face a mirror match every single game. I played mainly. So I played. Let me see if I remember. So I played one red round one, which is the same guy that Eric played. Round two, I played a white mid-tempo deck. Annoying as hell for purple with the Pegasons or whatever, because I couldn't
Yeah.
like push through. But I ended up taking that one 2-0. First round was 2-0 against red. I won. Game two, white tempo 2-0, beat him. Game three was my first loss. Was against the mirror match, and it's actually the second place finalist. That's who I lost against.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to say his name because one, I don't want to call his name out, but I think it's kind of hard to say. But let's just look it up on the Pro Tour. Like he's the guy that I lost against in Game three. And it's my first loss for the day, and I'm glad he went to the final because he helped out my tiebreakers. So keep
For
winning.
sure.
But,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that was the first mirror match, and it was funny.
He was
'cause,
playing a
like,
crazy deck too, right?
he
'Cause
was,
had,
yeah.
like,
He had like a different kind of. He had like some similarities to me, like the Scott Bowers and stuff like that. But he definitely had some different deferral slashes in his. It
didn't
was
he have
funny
like
'cause game-
Hippocampo in there? Or
Hippo
something?
Campbell as well. I don't know if he mained it or it was in his side, but I think he mained him. He had Hippo Campbell as well. But like I remember game one, like I rod and swamp. Turn one, he went rod and swamp. Turn two, I rod and swamp. Turn three, he rod and swamp. Like we were literally just like setting up our boards, and then but he went off because he ended up getting all his Belgors. Game four,
You had a little gentleman's agreement that you were just gonna swamp for a
yeah,
couple
like you know,
turns.
it's a swamp. Let's get set up, and then round
Let's just get
four,
swampy.
what did I play round four? I think round four I played another red actually. I lost that one, so I won one game. He won one game. The last game I just bricked super hard. So at that point I was X2 or 2-0, actually. No 2-2 at that point. And then round five. Where did I play round five? Round five. I had a brain fart. Round five. Oh, round five I played a weird. I don't know what it was. It's another white purple, but it didn't. I don't know. It was weird, but he ended up winning. Six, I played against that guy that had the rainbow deck, and then round seven, I actually ended up winning. I was facing another red Nova deck, which that guy ended up summoning Nova on me every single match twice.
Wow.
And I still was able to win, and it was an
Wow.
intense game. It was an intense game. Like it was.
Yeah, Nova's
It
tough.
was rough. It was rough, and I had to win that game, right, to be able to qualify because at that point I would have lost 3 back-to-back in a row. Another deck that surprised me there was purple yellow, which I think they actually ended up top eight. I think it was. Purple yellow was crazy. I don't know if I would play it. It looks weird. It's like a 1-card copy of every single good card for every color, but purple
Wow.
yellow. Look up the deck list; it's pretty good. But yeah, all in all, I mean that's how my rounds went. Like I said, I think every deck, honestly, at the end of the day, just not to take anything away from anybody, every deck surprised me because everybody had their own take, right? Like, everybody had their own flavor,
Yeah.
style, and I think that was really cool. I think it's what made it fun because literally,
Yeah.
I've never played Battle Spirit for as long as I played it this year, and been like every time I play, oh wow. Yeah, you caught me off guard with that. Oh yeah, you baited
Yeah.
me into that. I didn't think you were running that, or I didn't expect that deck to have that card, and I like that. I see a lot more splashes of a lot of different colors. So
Yeah, it's
That's
a
like
testament
you were
to
saying.
the game.
yeah,
That's like you were saying earlier. Like it really sucks that this meta was so short-lived because
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much more to explore just
Yeah.
in this little meta that has come out of the bans and then the release of the lore set.
I hope that is encouraging to everyone who plays it, though, to continue to look at all the cards. Not like, so we know that Gale is on the horizon, right? But like,
Yeah.
even in our Discord, we're talking about like, well, we didn't get Gale support, so what do we lean into now? And a lot of our friends in there are just like, they're like, oh, well, I'm playtesting Crush and it's really fun, or I'm playtesting Golems, or I'm looking at Serpents. You know, like
Yeah.
there is still a lot of stuff out there. especially now that we're 3 sets deep, 2 supplemental sets in, like rainbow decks are coming up. The lore set is contributing a lot of really fun like ideas. At the very least, it is so fun to playtest this game that no matter what shakes out in the meta, like it does still come down to a lot of different tech cards, and that does kind of set us apart Battle Spirits from these other games. Like that top 8 from that Pro Tour is crazy, and yellow won.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
That was awesome to see.
Yeah.
Watching that game on the screen in the room. Super cool.
I think what I'm excited for yellow that won, because it shows, I think all 4 colors now, besides the ones that haven't come out, right, have won, right? So it shows that every color is good. And I think what I'm more impressed with the yellow, I mean, granted, you have to learn how to pilot the deck. Not anybody can grab that deck and win it. That guy knew what the hell he was doing. But, like, yellow to do what it did when really no new cards added, right? It's still set 1 and set 2. So everybody has been, like, hating on yellow. Like, oh, it's not good enough. It just won the Pro Tour, right? And what most will say was probably like purple was probably the best deck if you have to say in the meta currently, right? Just because of how the draw ability, and that's why a lot of people are playing purple. A lot of either mono purple, nemesis purple. I mean, there was like all kinds of variations of purple. And yellow just took it. I mean, if you look at that, guys, if you look at the stream and watch it, like 3 Alice's, like he just seemed comfortable. He's just in control. I think one of his best game was against I think it was the top 4 against the white deck. And man, he just piloted that deck beautiful, and yellow doing yellow things, and I think that's the one thing about yellow that I was talking to a few people there at the Pro Tour is that it's a higher learning curve to play yellow. Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people steer away from yellow. It's not as autopilot,
It's not as obvious,
decks. Right? No, especially the luster builds, man.
Yeah, and you know this, Cam. You play yellow like crazy. So.
Yeah.
So, but shout out to yellow though. I'm glad they won Pro Tour. It's glad to see that every deck this year before the whole new set has had a shot in the spotlight per se. Part of me would have liked Nova, right? Which I say Nova still got a spotlight, right? There's probably the most Nova decks I've ever seen all year for a card that is supposed to be like the child of the game, right?
Yeah, it's your Charizard,
I really think it's Maduke, but anyways, like
it's, I think it's Maduke too.
But it's good. It's good to see Nova doing Nova things, and Nova just felt so much better. I'm not gonna lie. Anytime I saw somebody play Nova against me, I'm like, my mind first like, God damn it! It's like, it's like, what am I gonna do to get rid of this guy right now? So, and it's nothing more defeating when you almost think you're gonna win, and your opponent gets 5 life again, and you're like, well, back to the drawing board. It's like, what do I do now? So,
as an aggro player, hard yes, that sucks.
So go on to you, Eric. Like, how were your rounds? What you played?
Against? So round 1, this was a surprising deck. That I played against was purple aggro.
I love that.
My opponent, it was such a fun game. Like, I loved getting my ass kicked by purple aggro. I lost hard, and our match was over in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, you're both running aggro. That's crazy.
Yeah, for anyone listening, I was playing a green aggro build that I kind of been working on. Maybe I'm about to answer another question that was in our Discord. Let me check.
Yeah,
let me actually just read. I'm going to answer Andrew's first question about surprising decks while I talk through this, but I also want to add in my answer. So Sad Mango said, what's one thing you would change if you could, excluding match outcome, whether it be travel related, destination related, or game related? I, in playtesting, thought that my deck was actually pretty well suited for this meta. But then when I actually got there and played, I almost wish I had brought a different deck. I found myself really, really like unable to break through a lot of the defenses that my opponents were able to put up. Like I played against so much red, and Bearded Eagle just stopped me in my tracks so many times. And I'm like,
that card.
How the hell did I love Bearded Eagle too. It's a great card. Yeah. But like, how the hell did I take this deck to the Pro Tour when I can't get through Bearded Eagle? And I was just a couple times feeling like, man, I should have played something else. But at the same time, I don't regret it because I love green. And so like I was playing the deck that I was comfortable with and the deck that I've practiced the most with. So I think that's at the end of the day why I brought it. But I think if I could go back in time, I would have liked to have practiced. I think actually I would have liked to have brought yellow. I think a yellow aggro with Godslaying and stuff would have been really fun to play. So I don't know. Maybe if I could go back in time, I would change what deck I brought, but I would have to go back far enough in time that I actually got time to practice with it. So, because I think that's more important than bringing like the most meta correct deck is just knowing your deck.
Absolutely.
And Angel and I talked about that in the FAQ episode last time. So
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I agree with that.
That was a fun episode, by the way. Good questions, everybody.
Thanks, man.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I am loving that we have people asking us questions.
Me too. That's super special. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Awesome. People asking us questions, asking us to sign cards. It's like, man, 67 subscribers on YouTube, but we're celebrities.
We're so close to the Battle Shots video.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. What is that? 33 subscribers away from Battle Shot Saga. So if you want to see us get really drunk and play Battle Spirits, subscribe to the YouTube channel. But back to my games. First round, I lost to Purple Aggro. It was a really cool deck. I liked it quite a lot. It was just like all the little purple dudes, a lot of the vanilla purple dudes as well, just like swinging in. And all the little purple dudes with Curse as well, which made it, which added this extra level of like, they're going to swing in with these little dudes, but like, do I block it? Because I just die if I do. So that opponent was super chill, and we ended up checking in with each other all throughout the event and like said hello to each other all the time. So they actually, at the very end of our game, were like, hey, whatever happens, like, thanks for being such a chill opponent. First round opponent. And I was like, absolutely, like, this has been fun. Yeah. Because I got to see this really neat deck. Round 2, I go up against Costa from our Discord, actually. And he was playing a deck that I think a lot of people were. He said it was a homebrew, so I'm not trying to steal his thunder or anything and say that he didn't build it or anything. But I think a lot of people had this similar idea of building this deck. Because I saw it a couple times throughout the day, of this deck that looks like pterosaurs when you start playing against it, and then they drop Nova out of nowhere.
That's fun.
Like, it looks like you're playing against...
it's like low-end pterosaurs, and then top-end is freaking Nova. Like,
yeah. It was confusing, because it was like, they play like Bearded Eagle, Dynaman Tyrannoid, like all of that kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden they just fucking drop Nova, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's still a good card, you know?
Yeah.
You can still get some of that reduction in red. You're not using Big Bang and relying on it. But, I mean, anytime Nova hits the board, you're doing a lot.
Oh, he still played Big Bang because you play the Meteor Dragon for free, and then you play Nova for free, and then you get all your life back.
Well, that works.
So, yeah, it was kind of like a 3-card combo. It made Nova more into a combo deck than like a Star Dragons deck.
I love that. Yeah. Honestly, I love that.
He was also playing Baculus and Curse Dragon, out of Nova, which was pretty interesting. It was a fun match. I think he did Nova me and get his life back once. I ended up taking that one. It was funny because Angel came over and he was like, "How'd you do, Eric?" And I was like, "Oh, I got it." And then you were like, you saw Costa there, and you're like, "How'd you do, Costa?" And Costa just like flipped me off.
I lost against this guy. I was like, "Oh, it's him." I was like, "Damn."
That was a fun game though, and I think Costa ended up getting his Worlds invite anyways, so I didn't.
Fuck yeah! I missed that. Congrats.
I might be wrong about that. So sorry if I am, but I think games.
But yeah. By the way, Royce and Costa, it was a pleasure to meet y'all. Y'all were super entertaining and made it even better. So.
Well, this is a good opportunity to ask this question. Royce in our Discord said, "Who was the most handsome Australian player you met?" So, Angel, it sounds like you're thinking we just can't decide.
Look, all I'm gonna say is, Eric got a hug, so maybe he can answer that. But Royce, like we were talking about microwaves and stuff. I think you both are very handsome. Don't worry. There you go.
Yeah.
Just answer it.
I agree. Royce, however, did play my game Taproot, so he gets a couple extra points there.
Oh, that's pretty hot. It's pretty hot.
Points. Dang.
Not that Costa wouldn't have. Costa was busy. But Royce and I played on day 2. We were playing with the new cards, and we played a little quick game of Taproot. So thanks for playing my game. That was fun.
Who had the thicker accent?
Ooh.
Uh,
I think it was about equal.
I think Royce.
You think Royce has a thicker Australian accent?
I do.
All right. I'm going to lean towards Royce then, without meeting either of you. I'm going to absolutely draw a line in the sand.
I really do, because, like, and maybe, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, Costa had an accent too, right? But, like, it was more of, like, a slang accent, right? Like, I can, you know, where Royce had, like, oh, man, it's very, like, not like you couldn't understand him. I mean, he spoke perfectly, but you can definitely say, oh, yeah. I mean, they both had an accent, but I think if I had to choose, if I remember correctly, there's Royce had a heavy accent.
Bloody
They're gonna love
AF.
this segment.
They are. They're like, man, fuck those guys. It's like...
Costa's over there like, oh no.
Or nor.
I hope that they enjoyed this. I do want to mention though, Costa and we
kissed.
accidentally just no, we accidentally.
It's like we didn't just hug, we kissed.
We discovered a cultural difference that I was not aware of. He was asking me about Five Guys because there's a Five Guys over by the train station, and he was asking me about it, like if it was good and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, and then he was like, well, it's probably better than Mackey's, and I was like,
Is that McDonald's?
I was like, I don't know what that is, and he's like, you've never had Mackey's? And I was like, no, I've never heard of that. And he was like, Mackie D's? And I was like, Mickey D's?
That's funny.
Yeah. But I was like, I had no idea that that's what they called it over there. So yeah, I've heard it called Mickey D's and I've heard it called McDonald's, but
Sure.
Yeah, that was a fun little moment because I was like,
funny.
This is something I didn't know about.
Yeah.
And I probably looked like an idiot because I was like, "What's Mackey's?"
Yeah,
you know, it's like
you're so American. You've probably eaten it 1,000
I felt
times.
bad for Costa because like I think it was from watching your game against the one guy you were talking about. Me and him were standing. He's like, "Man, I had Five Guys." And I was like, "Eric," I was like, "Oh man, it's like your stomach's hurting, ain't it?" He's like, "Man, it's so greasy." I was like, "That's American food," and I was giving just like, "You better not shit yourself in your rounds." I was like, "That's the worst thing you can eat on your lunch."
Yeah.
So
fucking baby stomachs. We've got our hardened cast iron.
He's like his whole blood veins are clogging up. But, I mean, yeah, those guys are awesome though, man. I am not gonna lie. They I had a lot of fun talking to them throughout those 2 days, and since day one, they were just so welcoming and such a pleasure to talk to. And so kudos out to you guys. And at some point, I'll travel 20 hours and visit you guys and get killed by everything out there. But it's all right.
Yeah.
It's like,
they invited us out there.
Every serpent in Battle Spirits is based off of one in Australia.
Yeah.
Even Maduke. So
Yeah.
No, it was so cool to meet them, and honestly, it was awesome because it felt like because they're in our Discord. They actually, I don't think they had ever they had joined. They're friends with Shorty and
cool.
Joffrey Bieber, I think, in
That's
our
right.
Discord. They know them. They all are part of this other group. But so that's how they kind of discovered us, was through word of mouth, through the other Australians. And honestly, it felt really cool to have like a little micro absolute BSS like group at the tournament. You know, it felt like we were all part of the same team. So I wish I had a T-shirt to give each of you so that you could have, represent. Anyways, back to my games here. Round 3, I lost to purple again. It was like pretty stereotypical Nemesis purple. I'm gonna say this about purple. Listen closely, everyone.
Watch out now. What should you say? Watch your mouth.
No. You're gonna agree with me, Angel. You're gonna agree.
All right.
Purple does not need Netherworld Depths to draw cards.
Yeah.
Holy shit, can they draw cards?
Yep.
Like, I got my fucking ass kicked by this Nemesis deck that was just looping, like Lamorak, Nemesis, Aglavale, Rotting Swamp, just like looping shit, like killing stuff, attacking me every turn, drawing like 8 cards. Like, it was just nuts. And both of my games against this person, I ended up scooping. I like rarely scoop games because I always feel like I'm gonna like
heart of the cards.
yeah, like maybe I could draw something that'll get me out of this. But both of those games just felt so hopeless. I just
Yeah.
felt hopeless.
That's purple.
Which,
Sort of.
yeah,
I mean, I'll say this. Like, I want to say it was round. What round was it? Maybe it was round 2. I had Nemesis, Amethyst, Agavale, and 2 Rotten Swamps, and I was drawing 6 to 7 cards per turn. That's just off that. Like, there was a point where he asked me how many cards I had. I think I told him, I was like, I don't know. Just in case you ask, I have like 15, or I forgot what number it was at the time.
yeah.
But
I actually,
Yeah.
Costa and I were watching you play from afar, and then I was like, I'm gonna go up close and see how it's looking, because it's impossible to tell how Angel's doing from a distance. 'Cause he
Yeah.
just has his poker
Angel's
face
poker
on.
face is so good.
So
It's like-
I walked.
It's
I
amazing.
walked by the table and I heard Angel go, just in case you're wondering, I have 11 cards in hand. And I went back to Costa and I was like, yeah, he's doing good. He's got 11 cards in his hand. He's fine.
Damn.
Um,
That sounds right.
so, yeah, lost to purple. Not the last time losing to purple, but round 4, I won against that Pterosaur deck. That was that incredible game where I was holding him off with my Scop Owl and he had the 2 Gigantor Rex. That was awesome. I did take that win, and I felt really good after that. I really needed a good win, to kind of propel me forward. Because honestly, like Angel and I both were kind of like starting to get into this weird headspace of kind of like, I don't know if I'm feeling it today. Like, and then we went and had lunch at the like Chipotle knockoff place, and like all of our rice and beans and stuff were kind of undercooked, and I was like, man, this is not what I needed.
Yeah.
That's a
It was good
bummer.
the first time we went, but not the second time. I was like,
Yeah.
this is the last thing we needed. We need like a good lunch to give us
Oh,
a boost.
that would have been the nail in the coffin for me. It takes a lot to like get me super down and negative, but like if I'm banking on just a little pick me up from food and it doesn't hit, I'm sad.
Yeah. Well, we went there because I was like, the reason we went there, it was kind of my fault because like we had it the day before and it was really good. And I was just like, this is going to be good. It's not going to be heavy. It's
Right.
going to be like, it's going to fill us up, give us energy. And then we went there and it was just like shit. And I was
Blah.
like, sucks. Well, round 5, I lose to purple again. Pretty similar situation. Rounds, at this point, I'm thinking like, if I can win my next 2 matches, I can at least get the goddamn invite. Because that's why I came here. I want the invite.
Right.
Round 6, I lose to Pterosaur Nova. Again, the like Terra Nova build. Well, actually, I didn't lose to it earlier. I beat it in round 2, but then in round 6, I lost to it. I couldn't get through the freaking Bearded Eagles. He had like 3 of them out at all times, it felt like. And it was just like, I can't attack through this.
Yeah.
Fantastic stats on the Eagle.
So round 7, I go in thinking, okay, if I can go 3-4, maybe my tiebreakers can do it, and I can get like 63rd or 64th place and just squeak in. And then I'm sitting across from our friend Daniel, who we met at Tulsa, and I'm like,
Wow.
oh shit,
Yeah.
this sucks because like he needs the win too. Like if he loses, he's not going to Worlds. If I lose, I'm not going to Worlds. So it's like really intense, and both of us were pretty nervous playing that game. And I told him like before each game, like because we played 3 games that round, and before each one, I was like, once again, whatever happens, let's just try to have some fun here, because like I want this game to at least be a good one. But he was playing purple Nemesis, and kind of the same stuff that had been happening to me all day against purple Nemesis happened to me. So he ended up taking the win on that, but I at least felt good. I was like, if I'm going to lose to somebody, at least it's somebody that I know. It's somebody that like I just helped him with that win, basically like get what he needed to get his Worlds invite. So I was like, at least there's kind of that. But then I was kind of like, man, I didn't get my invite. I ended up in like, I think I ended up in like 78th place or something. It was like really low down. So I was just like a little bummed, but honestly not bummed for long, because then I found out that Angel got his invite, and that really picked me up. I was like, hell yeah, at least one of us, at least we didn't come here to be total losers. Like one of us got it.
Yeah, no, I was nervous all day. Like once because I was on a really good high, right? So to me, what happened this time, me and Eric were talking about it. It's the opposite of what happened to each other at Tulsa, right? Like I had lost my first 2. He would have won his first 2. And, so our emotions were different. Where in the Pro Tour, I had won my first 2. And I was like, man, this is how I'm starting the Pro Tour. Awesome, man. I'm playing like some really hard players. And after that, it was just like, like my deck
Yeah.
did with my, and I say my deck, what purple decks, all purple decks do it. Like they started breaking, and I telling my wife, like, these goddamn cards, I'm shuffling the hell out of them, and I just kept, literally, it was either like I draw all magic or I drew all spirits. There was one time I remember I had Mulligan, and I drew a Maduke, 2 Rotten Swamps, and a Thorn Prison. I was like, yeah, this is how this is gonna go. So I was kind of bummed out, but I ended up paying off, and I think I ended up in 54th place. I think's what it was. Which whatever, I don't care if it was 50. It could have been 64th for all I care.
Yeah.
Right? I just wanted my invite.
Yeah.
Got a little money that's coming, so help me with my trip to the Worlds, and it was worth it. And all in all, even if I wouldn't have gotten, I would have been bumped out, obviously, right? But I had such a good time at that pro tour. I was telling Eric, like,
Yeah.
it didn't even feel like a long day at all. Like,
That's
literally,
great.
even though it was 7 rounds, I was just like, oh wow, it's already over. We'll just go hang out. Like, I didn't feel tired. I didn't feel like,
Yeah.
I had a blast, man, just hanging out with those guys, talking to all the players. Obviously, there's a couple moments of stress or whatever, but it was a good match. I enjoyed it.
Fantastic job by the tournament organizers. It was so
Yeah.
smooth. Everything
Awesome.
ran so smoothly. We were using this new app.
I
or
love it.
website.
Limitless.
Limitless.
Yeah.
Limitless. Yeah. It was very, very easy to use. It was a little difficult to use at first, but once I learned how to use it, I was like, oh, this is like way better than anything we've used so
Way
far.
better.
And,
Yeah, you can see the timer, the structure, deck list. Like, I hope we use that at the next grand opening going forward. Like, it's just really good. Like, to just answer that Mango's question real quick, because I know you kind of answered it. If I could change anything, probably nothing from my end, right? As far as deck goes, did everything. I would probably not play Godslaying on my side. I never used it one time at all, just because of the matchups. It really didn't matter. I think I was just so hyped up in it, play testing with Eric, that I didn't even think about it, because I was playing, I could use it against Nova. My silly self didn't think, well, I gotta have a spirit to use it against Nova, and Nova's
That's a good
popping my
point.
board every time.
Yeah.
So, like, I wish I would have played either 2 more Dream Bombs, or I probably would have added my Starblast draws in there. Probably the only thing I could change. But, hindsight's always 20/20. As far as my travel related, I would definitely, in the future, if I travel that long, probably upgrade to like Comfort Plus or whatever the next level is. Because on the way there, man, it's like sardines in a can for 9 hours. It was rough. I didn't sleep at all. It was a very uncomfortable flight. Destination wise though, it was amazing. I would go there again. And then, but yeah, I would just probably say I would take the Goslanes out of my side deck. Every time I saw it when I was sideboarding, I was kind of like mad at myself, like, oh, you're such a stupid card. Like, you're useless to me right now. Like, it's such a waste. Like, it felt like such a waste of a card. Like, it looked cool. It was shiny and all, but
Yeah.
I'll probably play something else,
I will say I used Godslaying to take out a Cursed Dragon in the webcam tournament, and it felt really, really good.
Nice.
But
Yeah, I was gonna say Godslaying did some work for me. I
Yeah.
killed the Nemesis. I killed the Gigano Rex.
I might have overhyped it. I'll admit it. I'll take back my. I bought 2 extra copies of it, but I probably won't run more than 2. But it
It's
can.
good.
It
for
just
my
it
deck, wasn't
depends.
good, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it depends.
Well, here I am saying it did some work for me, but I didn't win those games.
Right.
Like I had some epic moments with it where people weren't expecting me to Godslay, and they were like, "Oh, it's so funny when you Godslay something. Everyone has the same reaction.
Yeah.
They swing in with their big dude. You block with your little guy, like the map butterfly or whatever, or tin soldier, and then they're like, all right. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to block with this. And then they're like, okay. And then I play Godslaying. And then there's a moment, there's always a pause where they go, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went with me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny.
And
That was how it went every time I played it. People were like, yeah, that happens.
So would you say, let's see, if you had to pick one card at the Pro Tour from your deck that you consider the MVP, what would it be? Would it be Godslaying
wow,
Scott Bell.
Scott
for you?
Powell.
Scoppo?
Scott Bell.
Dude, you have
learned-
showed me the light on that card. Like I never valued it like I should have. But watching you play it is great.
I learned that you can use Scott Powell offensively. In fact, the most of the time I played him that day, I did not flash him in. I played him from my hand during main step so I could attack with him first.
Yep.
Because it puts your opponent in such a weird situation. It's like maybe they have like let's say they have 3 life and they have 2 blockers, right?
Yep.
So they're thinking, and I have like 2 spirits. So they're thinking like, oh, I can block all their spirits, and if they play another one, maybe I'll just take a damage or I'll have to figure it out. But then I play Scop Owl and attack with it first, and it's like, oh, fuck. They're going to tap all of my stuff if I block this. And it's like, man, that card is so good. It's good defensively and it's good offensively. It's just an all-around amazing card, and it is susceptible to removal. Like Burning Force and whatever can kill it, but it has an effect that triggers when it dies.
Yep.
So even though it's susceptible to Burning Force, they still have to play around the effect. So honestly, MVP is Scop Owl. What about you? What was your MVP card?
For me, it would be Belgor.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Belgor won me so many games, and it's all because of the flash timing, right? There was an opponent that kept saying, like, he literally said, like, God, I fucking hate your Belgors. Like, he would attack, do some bunch of stuff, I will flash in the Scop Owl, would get destroyed. Now you exhaust something, now Belgor comes out. There was one point I had 3 Belgors in grave, so when he was trying to push for damage, I summoned 3 back on, so I was blocking him again. It's just, Belgor was... It's just such an intricate part of my deck, right? And like I will say this, most of the matches that I lost, even especially the mirror match, I lost because I didn't see my Belgors, right? He has seen the Belgors. Without Belgor, because Belgor's your target for Daily Balance, he's your target for Nemesis, he's your target for your he's everything in that deck, and he's actually probably one of the biggest pieces of that deck, in my opinion, at least. But I would say Belgor's definitely, because there's nothing better when your opponent thinks they're about to push through, and you just, hold on, let me go through my graveyard. And I can't tell you how many times I kept getting asked, how many Belgors in your graveyard? I'm like, none. Or like, okay, or like 1. So it would make you think about it. And then when you flash in the Scop Owl, right? Because I did a few times. They're like, oh wait, what? I was like, yeah, that's the thing, Scop Owl. And like you were saying, now I have a blocker, and now I can exhaust something else that you might have on tap. So now next turn I can push for that final damage, or bring, exhaust it, bring Belgor, pop what I just exhausted, and now I destroyed it, and then push for damage either way the next turn. So I say Belgor's definitely the MVP for me, because that card came in clutch. I
have a quick question for you.
Go ahead,
Angel. With set 3, are you going to slot in strong draws to your deck to potentially get some of these, like Beldegor? Would you just ditch it and then summon it that way?
Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely. I will definitely. So Strong Draw will be like my replacement of Star Blast, right?
Yep.
I took out Star Blast for the Pro Tour because I felt like it was too slow, but I was running Star Blast for drawing. I just use Strong Draw because even when I gave him a Tarantula, Belgor's the first thing I discard, like whatever. But like I want you in the graveyard, right? Or even if you mill me and someone's playing Crush.
Yep.
But yeah, good question.
Cool.
I would definitely, that definitely is strong. 4 copies of Strong Draw. I have 4 Belgors. Those are gonna be my first targets to go to the graveyard.
Hell yeah!
I would probably say this because I didn't give it enough credit, because I wouldn't have won the last game that I needed without it. Impaler Forest.
All right.
I did not give that card enough credit, and I can see why it's so good. There was a point where, and I think I told Eric this, like my opponent was about to win. Like I had no options. I had nothing, and I kept using Impaler Forest to bring my Dragonaga back to try to keep drawing it into something. And eventually it allowed me to draw into a Nemesis. And I think within 2 turns, I was able to draw 12 cards and completely flipped. I had 1 life left. I completely flipped the whole game state and I ended up winning the game.
Wow.
Without that card and being able to recycle or at least get something else to draw, because I was drawing, it would have been crap, right? If I wouldn't have drawn the Spirit, I probably would have lost that game that I needed to win. And it was round 7, actually. So Impaler Forest, for sure, was definitely... I want to give this to you. I probably... Belgor's the MVP because I saw it more often. But Impaler Forest was allowing me to give me the invite, because that game state, like, I was about to lose. And without that, I was like, holy crap. I was able to then summon Maduke and do all these crazy shenanigan things.
Wow.
And the guy looked at me. He was like, dude, you just literally flipped the board state on me. I was like... Just for Impaler Force, man. So he got rid of it. I only run 1 copy of it, but definitely a card that I'll be probably looking more into for set 3. But for sure, to answer your question, Kendall, Strong Dog, Belgor target, that's easy right there. So probably, depending if I do like an Immortal build, because set 3 has a little bit more Immortals. Any Immortal target, right? Like whatever.
Yeah.
Graveyard. Like you're only good when you're in the graveyard, So it's like
Strong Draw is such a good card.
You could strong draw Volcanic Canyon, like whatever you
Yeah.
can to discard in that build. I think would be
Yeah.
really good.
I mean, I use strong draw in my God Beast Behemoth decks for sure because you want to ditch those little 2 costs towards the middle of that game, so your Behemoth gets reduced. It's just a really versatile card. It's a great draw, and the pricing is just perfect. 3 cost,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
I love
I
it.
need to look at the Immortal cards to figure out where there's like overlap, because I was thinking the other day, I wonder if you can like loop some type of Immortal thing. Where
I'm
like
sure there is.
this Immortal thing dies, which triggers this other Immortal thing to come out, and
I
like,
don't
just
think that does exist.
not yet.
Well, okay.
But,
So Corpse Giant has Immortal 6/10.
uh-huh.
Cyclowinder has Immortal 1/4. Beldegor has 4/5. So I guess you could, when Cyclowinder dies, you can revive Corpse Giant. When Corpse Giant dies, you can get Beldegor. But then that's the end of the loop. So there's like, it plays into each other. But yeah, eventually I think there is going to be exactly what you're talking about.
Well,
a little loop there.
I kind of like you were talking about earlier, Cam. And maybe this is an interesting topic as well, because I think it's the Pro Tour that changed my mind. I went into the Pro Tour with my thoughts on set 3 being, oh, Gale's the best deck. Everyone's going to play Gale. Everything's going to be Gale, Gale, Gale. I saw so much creativity at this event that it inspired me to be like, I need to play Gale and I need to play test against it, but maybe I actually want to play something else, because I think that there might be something else out there that's very competitively viable that I'm just going to ignore because I'm so focused on Gale. Whereas, like, I definitely need to play Gale and be prepared to play against it regardless of what I play, because it's going to be there.
Right.
Because it's definitely a strong deck, and it has all the pieces that it needs to be a super high-level, like, meta deck. But I think, like, Immortal Purple, Serpent Purple, like, that's all very interesting to me.
Serpent
also,
especially.
Apollo Dinos. We can talk about day 2 really quick, maybe, because we got to play with the new cards. We played a draft and a sealed. I lost, like, all of my games, but I didn't really care because I was really just trying to play as many things as I could as quickly as possible so I could just get more cards.
Yeah.
Man, Apollo, like, Randolph being able to kill, like, just pop stuff, like, people are not prepared for Randolph.
I love Randolph. In our testing, just from our fun set 3 games, like, I am obsessed with Randolph.
Randolph and Gordon.
Yeah.
Randolph, Gordon, Break Burst. Those are all blue cards that I would not be surprised to see outside of blue, just because they're so good. Break Burst especially. Randolph and Gordon maybe not as much. Maybe they'd be sideboards or something. But also Apollo Dinos, where he can just kill something equal to his BP when he attacks, is just nuts, because there's so many ways to, like, adjust his BP. And I was even wondering, I'll have to look into it and see. I don't know if any of the yellow cards allow you to subtract from your own spirits. It might specify opponent, but I was thinking there might be even a way to do something like that if your opponent, like, swarms with tokens or something. But I mean, he hits like 3K, 5K, and 7K, I think, are his regular stats, which are, like, pretty common numbers anyways. And then also there's so many ways to adjust BP in the flash step that, like, although I don't know if that would work with him, so never mind. But anyways, he's a cool card. Apollo Dinos is sweet. Break Burst is one hell of a card. I think you're really going to have to not only think about Burning Force range, but now you need to think about Break Burst range. Like, 4 cost and above is maybe where you want to be if blue removal becomes, like, a really big thing, which kind of sucks because there's lots of really great 3-cost cards. But
that pairs well with Floodstream too. Like, you have to think about that. Like, 5 or fewer means you're doing, multiple zeros, obviously, but like a 3 and a 2. Or a 4 or a 5. So, like, 4-cost cards are going to be a little more desirable, I think, because Floodstream it's a really powerful spell, and it's the same costing as Burning Force outside of color. So it's just really good.
Yeah, 2 cards that I like from... Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say Seabed Lighthouse can
Great.
stop to a lot of shit.
Great card.
Yeah.
Two cards that I liked from just the playtesting though that we, or I say playtesting from the draft was set 3 was Camelo Whip. It's a red creature.
Yeah.
I
Ooh,
annoy
yeah.
so many opponents with him. Like basically, when he attacks, he can't block. But I think when he attacks, your opponent cannot reduce your life with any spirits that their BP is lower than that spirit's BP. And I think it's like 5K for like 2 cores or 3 cores.
3 cores, 5K.
It's
Yep.
3 cores, and then the other card was it's a white card, Radiant Dragon Palace, the Balik, I think that's what it's called.
I love him.
Dude, that card stopped one of my opponents for almost like literally it was like 6 turns. It was just passing on.
Yes.
Because he didn't want to attack because his 3 level or 3 when the spirit blocks effects are so good. So to your point, Eric, like I'm still gonna play purple because that's like my main color that I will always want to play. But I think for like the next set, I might do some kind of white shenanigans or maybe like some white purple.
Yeah.
Definitely some blue purple for sure. So
yeah, that that Armored Dragon specifically. I was opening my packs and I was looking at that guy because I have my wife opened 2 SPR versions of Dimensional Rift. So I was like going through all the new stuff. Yeah. I was like, what has when the spirit blocks without when summoned? And that card I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Stupid. It's stupid.
That card with Buffalong Bill could also be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some white things. But one thing the Pro Tour showed me with white, even though it struggles a little bit with draw, but hey, now you got strong draw, right? So you can put that in white and be fine. White just it's just annoying. It's an annoying deck.
White's gonna come back, I think.
They have so many counters to everything you're trying. I mean, that's what White's supposed to do, I guess. It makes sense, but it's just there was the match that I played against White in the Pro Tour was really. I mean, I had a blast. Me and the guy had like back and forth, and we're thinking about everything. But it's such a high level thing because like, all right, you can bounce this back, or you can do this, or I can't attack that because now you're gonna get this ramp. Like it's just crazy. So
yeah.
To answer Andrew's question, I know you kind of answered a little bit too, Eric, but he had asked also 2 questions. I heard there was some question about judge ruling made over the weekend. What were you guys' opinions of judge performances this weekend? Also, do you believe they should make sure that they select the best judges for Pro Tour World events, regardless of regions, bringing US over there or vice versa? As far as judge performances, I didn't have any bad experience with them. I think all the judges I never had to call a judge because most of my opponents were very, they knew what we were doing. But at least the few judges that I saw that were called over to some of the tables near me, they were quick and responsive. And they knew what they were talking about, and if they weren't sure about something, I think there was one guy that didn't agree with what the judge said. He was very polite. He said, well, let me go find out just to make sure. And he went and came back. And so I don't know, maybe there's a table scenario, something that you know about, Andrew, that maybe something happened that I'm not aware of. But at least whatever was around me that I saw, the judges were really good. They did their job. They're super polite. They even joked with us one time. Oh, that's not battle spirits, So I didn't see anything. I know there's a judge question on day 2 with a Gale situation that happened, where Perkin Highlands only triggers the Gale of a spirit if it's a level 2. If the spirit gets summoned at level 2, if it's not if a spirit has Gale at level 2 and you'll summon him at level 1, you don't get that you don't get that ramp. You have to summon him at level 2. So there was a debate about that. The player didn't agree with it, and the judge went and found out with somebody else, and that's the ruling. So I think they did a good job. And as far as bringing the best judges, I agree. I mean, I think it's like any sporting event or any major event, right? You will want the best judges to be judging because that's a serious event, right? It's something that could cost a player a game because you have, let's just say I become a judge overnight. You wouldn't want me judging the Pro Tour, because it's like I just became a judge 3 days ago, right? Where somebody's been doing it all year, or it's or it's a specific judge that's used to the stress or the level. I agree. I think that is something that this game, gets bigger and bigger, and the events get bigger, and more players are involved, right? Instead of having a 200-player tournament, it's 500 to 800 players. Absolutely, you probably need a lot of different high-skilled judges that can handle the pressure, can handle players' attitudes, right? Because we can get pretty nasty when things are not going our way.
Yeah.
And know what they're talking about and be confident with their decision on the high-level events. Because think about it, right? Everybody wants to win, right? But really, it's a lot of money on the line, and there's invites on the line. You traveled a lot for these events. The last thing you want to be is be cheated out of a win because a judge made the wrong call.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I personally did not. Same as you, Angel. I didn't have any bad experiences.
Real quick, I'm going to be right back. Keep
Yeah.
going.
Oh, okay, cool. uh, yeah, I didn't have any bad experiences. The only thing which I thought was really funny was that one moment when they were like, "All right, One Piece players,"
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
then everyone
It's
everyone
like,
gave them
what's that?
shit.
What's One Piece? Yeah, who's
Yeah,
One
everyone gave him the
Piece?
shit for that, which I thought was
Yeah.
actually pretty funny. But yeah, as far as like the best judges, I agree. I think there's a lot at stake. There's this is the first world championships for this game. There's a lot on the line to be like the first world champion for this game, and there's money on the line too. So I do agree. I think that you should pay like to fly out like the best judges. I personally felt like all the judges we had there were great, though. I didn't personally have any issues, and I didn't hear about anything that happened. So maybe something happened, like you said, Angel, that we just weren't privy to.
Yeah.
That so. I think that pretty much answers all of the questions here.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything else that you want to add to close us out?
No, I would just say that hopefully everybody that appreciate everybody that was following us in the Pro Tour and it was engaging in the Discord. I love to see that everybody's engaging more and more every day. It looks like. Hope that
Mhm.
everybody's doing some play testing with set 3. I think a lot of you guys. I think Shorty was one of them. Posted quite a few boxes on there. Pull rates. I'm gonna open a box after this podcast. Well, after dinner, I'm opening a box at this podcast, and I'll pull it up in the Discord in my polls. But I'm excited to see everybody being excited for this set, and just the amount of people wanting to play test so many different things. Like right now in the Discord, I'm being hit up. Hey, have you play tested this deck or this color or that color? I don't recall set 2 having this much hype. Set 2 was more about, oh my god, it's Gundam cards, and then we get them like, all right, Gundam cards kind of suck because spoilers didn't do anything. Uh,
Yeah.
they just look cool in my binder. But
Yeah.
where this set is like, there's a lot of good technical cards added. There's a lot of good special cards by themselves. New color, Gale being insane, Crush will be insane, Serpents, all that. That I think a lot of people. It's almost like it gave the game, which is what it needed, right? It gave the game like energy again. Right? All the players seem energized about it, excited about it. Even at the Pro Tour when we were playing, people, I just want to get this meta over with. Like, let's go on to set 3, go to Grand Open. So. I had a blast with set 1 and set 2. It's been a long journey, and now Worlds, it's going to be exciting because I could play some set 3 hopefully and do some crazy play testing. Now we have 3 sets of card pools and whatever. Well, the mini expansion won't be out, I think, before Worlds. I'd highly doubt it, but maybe there will be. Maybe there'll be some sort of mini expansion before Worlds. But either that, whatever they add, that's going to be exciting to open that card pool, right? Because the bigger the card pool, the more creativity will be there. And if the Pro Tour was any sign of how creative players can get, I'm excited for the future because there was a lot of creative decks. Even if some were very similar to others, like those few niche cards here and there is what made the difference, I think, for a lot of players. So, yeah, I'm excited. So,
Yeah, same for me. I'm excited for set 3. It was an awesome adventure, and I think that's kind of where I want to leave everyone is like, if you're playing this game and you get the opportunity to go to one of these events, I know that not everyone can go because it's like, traveling costs a lot of money. You have to spend money on a hotel. But if you can figure out a way to make it happen, like go for it because it is so much fun. Everyone is so welcoming and nice and just there to play a game that we all love, and it's really awesome to see. And also, it's so cool that we are involved in something that takes us to places that I would normally like never go. Like I was never planning. I know people who have been to Amsterdam, but it's never really been something that interested me personally. But I was like, okay, well, this is a cool place to go. Same thing with like going to Tulsa, even, or we're
yeah.
about to go to Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta a couple times, but I haven't been in a while, so it could be kind of fun to go. And then Portland, Oregon is a place I've always wanted to go, and I've just never been, so it's going to be fun. Lots of opportunities to travel, lots of opportunities to meet people, and lots of opportunities to just have a lot of fun. So definitely go out if you can.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the highlight. I mean, apart from the game, I had a lot of fun, and we played this game one because we enjoy card games and we enjoyed it, but really it's the people, man. I can't stress that enough. I'm wearing my little Yu-Gi-Oh shirt today because I always wear, Yu-Gi-Oh's always in my heart, and I think me and Costa were talking about this. I think he played Yu-Gi-Oh a lot as well. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh will always be a huge part of my life, right? But I've been to regionals, I've been to YCS, and I don't think I have never met as many cool people as I have in this short time just playing Battle Spirit. And that is my biggest takeaway. Like, it's cool to win and qualify and all that, but my whole journey for the last 2 Grand Opens I've been, the Gen Con events, a couple of local stores, gaming events, and now the Pro Tour, the people that I have met and those relationships, and then whether it's in the Discord, whether it's in person that we've met, it's probably the best fit. I mean, I met these two because of this game. So,
yeah, I was gonna say that. Like,
so I mean, that's just an attest to anything, right? And just some nice bonds. Cosmic, we've talked now, like we've known each other, right? He came up to us right away. Hey, how you guys doing? How's everything? He kept checking up on us. We checked up on them. So
we
I think
we were actually on the same flight from Detroit.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, Cosmic and I were, so we were just like chatting. At the airport, we were chatting. We ended up having different seats, but every now and then I feel like we like looked over at each other on the plane, and we're just like you still alive? Yeah, like, you still alive back over there? Like, you all right?
and that's what's amazing, and I think that it takes all of us to really keep this game striving. I know there's a lot of negativity sometimes because there's always negativity about something, right? But I would say that if you guys recommend this game to anybody, apart from just how the game is fun and the support there is for right now, just express the community, right? Express the player base. I think that is the biggest draw in for people, because I mean, I can name hundreds of card games right now that the community is sort of toxic or on the way of being toxic, right?
What?
Where you're always gonna have, I'm not saying Battle Spirit is perfect, right? You're gonna have a few players here and there that are kind of nasty, but out of like, I'd probably say about 95% of the players are all super chill and super nice, right?
Yeah.
You got your 5% are sourpuss that probably came from Yu-Gi-Oh. But apart from that, like, definitely, right, if you guys recommend it, you guys talk to your local, like, make that a part of your conversation. Like, just the community. I mean, Andrew's another one that we've met, and we're in contact all the time now, every day. We got some spicy stuff, hopefully soon with them. But they've been a huge part of our connection. And we met them at Gen Con because of Battle Spirit. Tulsa, hung out with Varric, and we went to eat. So it's just very cool. So I would say it was a fun experience. It was awesome to see Europe, right? Experience that culture a little bit. See that I don't fit in there, but it's all right. And it was just amazing to play against cool people, and it's glad to see that. It doesn't matter if you're on the west side, it doesn't matter, right? A Battle Spirit player is a Battle Spirit player, and it seems to be that we all have the same mentality, which is chill, man, trying to have a good time, make it enjoyable. We might get frustrated with our decks, but we still enjoy the time and respect each other, which is the biggest thing.
Yeah. Well said.
Never forget that you are not part of the community, you are the community. So, like, when people see you playing this game, you are an ambassador for this game. And when you play against someone, you are the reason that they stick around or the reason that they decide to leave. So just like keep that in mind, that you are the community. So that's probably my most important takeaway for this. Just bring yourself to the table the way that you would want your opponent to bring themselves. And I highly doubt that that's like pissed off rules sharking judge caller. So but also do that if you need to, but just try to have fun.
I know we said it a lot, but
don't
we
be a
appreciate
pushover.
all the questions. We definitely appreciate all the questions. I think it's one of my favorite part of the segments now, and maybe we can talk about, every episode we can pick 1 or 2 questions weekly, and we can answer them, just because we like you guys to be part of everything. And we love it, and it actually helps us kind of open different pathways to different conversations, and see what you guys' thoughts are. Right, you might disagree with us, throw some banana peels at us, or whatever you want. But it's
as
cool.
we debate, we go through all of our members of our Discord and finally reach the conclusion of who is the hottest.
Yeah. Who gets a little kiss?
We debated the Australians. Now we need to debate. Next, we'll debate the people from Atlanta, and then we'll debate the people from Oregon. I'm just kidding. You don't have to.
Don't start that trend. Don't start that trend. So.
Angel's like, no.
Yeah.
I love you guys, but not to that extent. Right?
Yeah.
I did find out people think we're the funny podcast, so I'm glad that that's who we are, because that's who I want to be. Mm-hmm. So
that makes my heart so happy.
Not in a bad way, Cam. I was telling Eric, I got told the same thing, but not in a bad way. They were saying that, what was it? I forgot what the exact words were, but like, man, you guys are hilarious. I love watching you guys' podcast. Because you guys, something like we make it enjoyable because we talk about, serious stuff, but we have fun with it. We're not so like, like monotone. No, it was good. I was like, I told them, like, we just do it for fun. We're just naturally just being ourselves. So, which is goofy.
Great.
So it's a good thing. We're like the funny podcast. So I like it. So
that's awesome.
Birds and the Bees at 6 p.m.
Wow. Yeah, I love it. Well said. That's a great note to end on. Just be your community. You are the community. Be good. Have fun. This game is not dying. It's a year old. Come on. It's so fun. I'm having a blast with it.
And they're getting better and better. I mean, look at set 3.
Set 3 is going to be such a blast.
Look how excited we are for set 3.
Yeah.
Look at the artwork for set 3. Look at the SPRs. So imagine what set 4 is going to be when it's like the beginning of the year. There's going to be double symbols. Nova's probably going to come out like a freaking badass, going to wreck all our decks. So
yep.
Evangelion's going to be in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's whispers and rumors that it's going to be a purple sort of type of Nova as well. So I'm excited to see if that's true. So. Because, I'm going to take out my dual disc. So
that's so badass. Yeah, dude. Well, that's awesome. And thank you all. I mean, you're part of this too. Everyone who listens, whether you're in the Discord or not, everyone who watches on YouTube, thank you so much.
But you should be in the Discord. Join right now in the description of this video. Join.
And make some fake accounts, sub to our YouTube, and get us drunk. It'll be really fun. We'll make a whole thing out of it. It'll be a good time.
I would rather they just invite their friends to sub instead of
that too. Yeah, you know what?
Okay.
Do that first, but then if you have to make fake accounts to get us over there, I don't know. Anyway, thank you once again, as always, to Angel and Eric for joining me today on Absolute BSS. And we're the next couple weeks we're going to be gearing up for Atlanta. And talking about some set 3 after we get some practical playtesting in. It's going to be fun. Going to be a good time. And then after that, it's going to be some spoiler season at the start of next year for set 4. So a lot of fun things on the docket. A lot of great ways to be a part of it all. So I do encourage you, for real, to join our Discord. We have a lot of fun there. There's a whole text thread there for listeners' questions, and we'd love to do more of that. So thank you all to everybody who submitted some questions over the last couple episodes. Follow us everywhere, Absolute BSS Pod. And until next time, be good. Be good to yourselves, and be good to one another.
Everybody.
Bye. Peace.